This is the point, Mr. Grewal, where in a sense the Aam Aadmi Party's amateurishness, some would say, in governance is caught out. You want to send out a message that we are going to reduce VVIP security, people will support you, yes. But when you make it public, knowing that many of these people are potential targets, you're making them soft targets like Mr. Moose Wala was.
Mr. Sardesai, you hit the nail on the head. Amateurish, yes. There was a mistake, there was a lapse, and yes, making the list public, wherever it has happened, was a lapse and it was wrong, number one. And people will be held accountable for that. But having said that, Mr. Shashikant has opened the bag of worms. Yes, there are politicians who are connected with them. Mukhtar Ansari stayed in Punjab jails. His relatives had a house across Ropar jail. For 4 years, UP government had to run around to the Supreme Court to get him back to UP. Okay, SOPU, PUSU, SOI, all the organizations, the student organizations from the nursery which bred all the gangsters in Punjab today. Believe you me, I was in college at that time. They have been raised by the Akalis. The Akalis raised the bogey. They supported them. And the Congress just went ahead and just carried the baton on. What we are saying is that this is a fundamental problem. The problem with our system is, yes, we are not escaping responsibility, but our system is that there is a deep-rooted criminal narco.
Who is accountable? No, Mr. Grewal, you started this show by saying, yes, there have been lapses. You are now admitting, yes, there has been an amateurishness in the way it has been dealt. You are saying, yes, responsibility. Who is it going to be fixed on? You've got the same police leadership in Punjab that the previous government had.
No, we do not. I did not say there's an amateurism in the way it has been done. I say that the names got out to the media. That will be fixed. Number one. Who is responsible? The responsibility squarely lies with the people who have been ruling Punjab for the past 20 years. These people who we call gangsters today were children. They were 4, 5, 6-year-olds. Today they have grown up. They have grown up under your umbrella. You have made them gangsters. You patronize them.
Today on the show, stage a bold denial that these gangs have no political connection at all. They flourished under under Congress and Akali rule as well.
I'll respond to that. Mr. Sardesai, but some preliminary pointers. Let us not fall for the Aam Aadmi Party's red herring. What is the issue at hand? Mr. Moose Wala's security was drastically downgraded without any analysis, number one. The withdrawal was publicized, number two. The protectees became sitting ducks. They became soft targets. These are the three issues, number one. Number two, all this was done despite the intelligence inputs to the contrary. Mr. Moose Wala's threat perception was high. So therefore, why was an analysis not done before Mr. Bhagwant Mann was publicizing the withdrawal on his social media platforms? Now, responding to your question, organized crime is a reality across the country. Nobody can deny that. But the question is, how do you respond to that? When the Congress party was in power, we extradited these narco smugglers from abroad. There was a case registered against a very senior Akali leader who is still in jail in Patiala. We went after these gangsters. So therefore, the proof of the pudding lies in the eating. We took action. But organized crime is a reality. But the Aam Aadmi
Name one man, sir.
Mr. Sardesai, this cannot be reduced to a shouting match. Please stop heckling me. Please stop heckling me.
You are politicizing.
No, 1 minute. Let Jangbir speak now.
So at least let me complete.
No. Just a minute, Adil. Yes, Jangbir.
First, I want to tell Mr. Adil that he is politicizing an issue. He should know that a false, mischievous, malicious case was registered against Mr. Bikram Singh Majithia. And this case was registered at a thana which was specially formed for this purpose. And that 4 DGPs were changed. 4 DGPs were changed before this case was registered. You got a pliable officer to register the case. And it is a false case. Justice will be done in the case. What I'm trying to tell, the topic, Mr. Adil, please, you yourself said one should stick to the topic. You also trying this diversionary tactic, which was earlier done by Mr. Grewal. The topic is that who will take, where will the buck stop? And the buck should stop at Mr. Bhagwant Singh Mann. He's the Chief Minister. He gloated about the removal of the security.
No,
He you know, officially claimed that I am removing VVIP culture, and this was done on whims and fancies. There was having posted to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Raghav Chadha has 4 security actors at his disposal. What about all this? Who will tackle this?
Can I for a moment get you back, Shashikant ji, because as I said, the mutual recruitment. Just a minute.
Intelligence, and in important cases, even by the intelligence wing. Whenever the decision is to be taken to reduce or enhance or curtail or whatever, it has to be strictly and objectively on the basis of whatever is contained in those files.
Okay, so what you're saying is you need an objective security assessment of each individual. It cannot be reduced to a political football or political populism.
No way.
I also have a senior police officer who's just sent me a message on WhatsApp saying, remember, many of these guys have narco contacts. That is why they are getting caught and killed in what he's calling inter-gang rivalry. Either way, all of this is an embarrassment for the Punjab government. The Punjab government in particular today is clearly on the back foot, and the only way it can resolve it is by acting. The fact is now, talk comes cheap when you win an election. Once you're in power, Mr. Grewal, no, yes, you want to make a final point, Shashikant ji?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. When we talk about all these things, remember that the entire planning was done from a prison house, that is Tihar jail in Delhi. And jails are the best places, unfortunately, to plan and to ensure its meticulous implementation.
And that in a sense reveals that another dark secret, that a gangster sitting in Tihar jail can in a way organize all these killings that have been taking place.
Our actions will speak.
Okay, your actions will speak, which is why we will wait and we will put you on test. Now you're not in the opposition, you are in the government.